So, hello guys. If you saw my last video, you'd know that I've now got a new motorcycle. The Honda Varadero 1000. It was a replacement for the old VTR 1000 sport bike I had. I needed to move up to a Tourer, so yeah, I went for this bike after looking for some other bikes. I decided to give one of these a go, and I have to say I'm loving it. At the time, my last video was literally the first ride out on this bike, so I couldn't really see any disadvantages to it at that present time. And I've done 150-200 miles on it now. I've basically done a tank full, which is I don't actually know. I worked it in my head roughly, and I think I got about 170-180 miles at the last tank, which is to be expected. These aren't the most fuel efficient bikes around. They're a big lumpy V-twin, but I like that, so I'm not particularly bothered by lowish fuel economy. I'm not saying it's the worst, because it isn't. It's still a lot more fuel efficient than most cars. But yeah, I haven't done a couple hundred miles on it now. I can honestly say it is seriously growing on me. Seriously growing on me. In my last video I said about the comfort and whatnot, and that still stands. It is still excellent in those regards. And I have to say the brakes aren't too shabby as well. This has got ABS. I don't know if it might also have that linked braking system. I don't actually know if it's got it on or not. I'll have to check. But oh, I'm fucking up. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of the height, which was my main disadvantage, which I said about in my last video, it's not too bad. Most of it is getting the technique to it, getting on and off the bike, which is a little bit tricky. I mean, I'm 5'7", but now I've sort of got used to it, and I've sort of developed my own technique of sort of like throwing my leg over and doing some weird sort of freaky hop onto the bike. It's not so bad, but moving it around is a bit scary at times, because it is a fairly big bike, and when you're trying to push or pull it around on gravel, yeah, that really goes for any bike, but this is especially hair-raising at times, especially when you can't. If you stop outside my garage, it's a little bit sloped, and there's quite a lot of that bloody tiny pea shingle gravel. Because I can't, most of the time, put my whole foot flat on the ground. It's just sort of like the tiptoes of my foot. It doesn't take a lot for my foot to slip on gravel and the bike go woof. So I have had a few little scares with that. But as far as disadvantages, I mean, this is obviously subjective. I can't really see any disadvantages to this bike at all. Because I bought this bike to do a purpose. And for me, it is, and I can't see any reason why it won't fulfill those roles. So, I mean, the reasons why I got it, just for comfortable riding. You know, I'm not really I don't really want to razz around on sport bikes anymore. Yeah, they're fun, they're fast, but I just want to chill out now. I just want to sort of cruise around. I want a bit of luggage space. you know, if I ever want to go cruising and whatnot. Come on, you fucking arseholes. I haven't noticed there is. What the fuck? Man, woman, thing, twat. Right, we are doing 25, just over 25 miles an hour in a 60 limit. If you're that scared of driving that much, you should not be on the road. Oh, 30 miles an hour, so fast. Oh God, if I go over 30, I'm gonna skid off the road and die. Oh, freedom, 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 freedom. As I was saying, people that fucking dilly-dally about doing 30 miles an hour in 60s piss me off. I have to say, the mirrors on this thing aren't the best, but unlike a lot of bikes I get on, I can actually see past my shoulders with them, which is always useful. I've got quite wide shoulders. And especially when you get a big puffy jacket on that's blustering about in the draft, it doesn't, you know, a lot of bikes I cannot see past my shoulders. On my old VTR, all I could see, if I could see anything at all, was basically like the crease of my armpits, which was highly useful. But yeah, it's not a particularly warm day today. I think it's about 10 degrees. I'm not faring too bad sitting on this. It's quite nice actually. I know there's probably a bit of wind noise on the old camera. I can hear it blustering. If I duck down there, I think it's just the top of my helmet that's catching the wind, so I can just adjust that up on that little screen there. No, the heated grips for some reason just turned off, but they were lovely. The other thing I like about this bike, even though I did criticise how high it was, it's nice being able to see above the traffic. I'm used to being so low, you're literally looking in the back windows of cars. On this bike, you can see everything. It's brilliant. Yeah, I can't describe in words just actually how much I've missed having a bike, or should I say a bike I enjoy riding. Yes, I have. I actually look forward in the evenings now to getting home from work, if it's not too late, getting on the bike, even if it's just for 10-15 miles, just go for a little ride out. I actually enjoy it. It's good. I mean, some people don't understand it. They just, I don't know, you tell people you're a biker and they sort of, I don't know, and you get it where a lot of people just sort of raise an eyebrow and look at you in that sort of judgmental way, that just because you ride a motorbike, and you know, in some cases big motorbikes, that you must be a bit of a sort of lunatic or a rebel or some sort of like outcast, you know. But, you know, it's not like that at all, you know. Some people just like motorbikes. They either like the motorbikes themselves, the sensation of riding them. Yeah, you know, there are people that like being fucking lunatics and very fast. But, you know, we all have our reasons, you know, people like different things. I don't see why. It's the same with other things, although not quite the same as, you know, saying you're a motorcyclist. There's that sort of, I don't know if people do it subconsciously or consciously, but there's that sort of thing where you know, people just automatically connect you with being a bit of a sort of misfit. But you know, if people want to do that, I'm okay with that. Because I'm not saying I'm not a misfit, but if I am a misfit, then it's a good club to be in. And I knew this would fucking happen. I'm not wearing waterproofs and it's about to fucking piss down. Welcome to, well, what some would still say is the Great British Summer. Personally, I say it's awesome. Either way, oh, that's nice. Either way, it's a load of fucking dog shit. Oh, fuck me. This isn't going to be nice. Oh, no, no, no. I hate my life! No, honestly, it fucking sucks. It fucking sucks. Donkey balls. Oh, no. No, no. No. Starting to come in my helmet. I am never trusting the BBC weather ever again in my fucking life! They said it was going to be partly fucking cloudy. Yeah, partly cloudy, interspersed with fucking monsoon fucking rain bullshit. Oh, it's fucking raining. I'm fucking soaked already. Oh, I am fucking soaked to the knickknacks. I already have a fucking chest infection. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna fucking die. Somebody somewhere hates me. That's what it is. That's what it is. I bet someone somewhere fucking hates me, and they've flown to Africa or something and met up with some fucking native African fucking tribe, and they're fucking dancing around in fucking glee in some fucking ritualistic fucking rain dance or some shit. That's what it is. I swear to God. It might just be God himself, you know. Fuck you, God. It's like, hoo, 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 hoo. I'm going to make it rain on some poor fucking sod that's just trying to ride his fucking motorbike after work to release some fucking stress. Ha! Yeah, that's a fucking good one. Release some fucking stress. Oh my fucking days. I swear. Oh, I can feel it running down my bollocks, and that it's not a nice feeling. Oh, it's cold. It's cold on my willy. Oh fuck. Actually, kind of reminds me of one time when I was a lot younger, and I had an XJ600 Yamaha, and it was the middle of winter. I think it was December or January, maybe February, something like that. And being the lunatic I was, I got on my XJ600 and I rode it. I don't know, it must have been 40 miles. So there was a bit of a party on, and you know, I wanted to go, and you know, my mates were going and that. But for some reason I thought, why would I want to take the car? Bearing in mind it was the middle of winter. Temperatures was 0 or probably just below. It was icy, or at the very least it was frosty. And yeah, I rode this bike 40 miles. I rode it there in the evening, so it was a little bit warmer. And then obviously, you know, that time of year, it don't take long for the temperature to drop like a stone. And yeah, I rode this bloody XJ600 back at around 0, or by then it was probably sub-0, back down this bloody road. And I've never known cold like it. I swear to God, I was so cold. I was literally on the verge of passing out. And I got home, and as I was pulling it into the drive, I realised there was a bit of an issue. I was that cold, and obviously riding for 40 miles in those sort of conditions, my legs, my arms, my whole body was frozen. Literally frozen. I realised I couldn't move my legs off the pegs. I could barely move my arms still. My hands were probably the warmest part of me, because I was wearing decent gloves, but I was just wearing just normal jeans on my legs and a t-shirt and a jacket. And yeah, I was so cold, I literally had to ride my bike, and I had to ride it close to the side of my house, and at the last minute it literally fall against the side of the house, and I had to sit there like this for about half an hour before I could actually coax some life back into my fucking limbs. I was that cold, and for at least I was seriously screwed. For at least a week after that, my whole body ached. And when I say ached, I mean it hurt. I had pins and needles, I had cramps. It just hurt. It was like fire. It was just fiery pain throughout my whole body. I've never ever known cold like that again. I mean, bearing in mind I was doing sort of 50, 60 mile an hour in 0 or potentially sort of -1, -2. I was that cold. Oh, I never want to repeat that again. Never. I think there's a moral to this story somewhere. Clothes.